everyone, this is Richard here with Terraform Tiny Homes. I want to give you guys a tour of Terraform number 1, my first tiny home. It is a 250 square foot tiny house on wheels. So I started building in September of 2015. I moved into it in January of 2016. I never would have thought that I've had over 8,000 people through my house, through 2 exhibits, Earth Day Texas 2016 and Taste of Dallas Festival. We had 5,000 the first weekend and 3,000 the second weekend. I've had the opportunity to be on HGTV, which will come out sometime in January 2017. I've loved my tiny house. It's been just an amazing opportunity. So I want to give you guys a little quick tour. So in designing my house, something that was really important to me throughout the entire build was to use reclaimed materials. As much as I could salvage, as much as I could find, on the side of the road or at, resale shops or things like that, I did. One of my favorite parts of my house is actually my front door. My front door just turned 90 years old. I pulled it out of a dumpster in front of an old historic house, and whenever I got it, it had a big mirror on the back. Took the mirror off and it was dated December 2nd, 1926. I'll give you guys a quick tour. Coming in, immediately you have the bedroom up on the gooseneck loft, which includes this closet and stairs. The living room, which kind of doubles as a guest bedroom. And then behind, the kitchen and bathroom, storage lofts, and everything else. In designing my home, I wanted something that felt very functional, but also had a lot of the design aesthetics that made it feel really homey, made it feel really big and bright. So some of the important things that I did was keep very tall ceilings. The ceilings in here on the high side are 10'6", on the low side are 9'6". Even in the loft, the high side is 6'4", the low side is 5'4". So, being 6'2", I can stand up in my loft. There's not a lot of tiny houses that you can do that in. So for the ceiling, I used reclaimed deck wood that I found literally on the side of the road, mixed with corrugated metal. Using that mix of materials gives her a really interesting design, and the corrugated metal running across the ceiling actually gave me a place to run my conduit, so it looks more like a design feature than it does a utility. For my bedroom, I wanted to have it up on the gooseneck versus in a ladder. So couple reasons. One, I knew I would be renting my house out at some point, and I wanted to make it very accessible to people. And two, as you'll see in my kitchen, I have draft lines and I like beer, and a ladder at 3 in the morning after a couple beers seemed like a bad idea. One of the other great things about my bedroom is I used a projector screen that actually works triple duty. So the projector screen obviously works as a very large projector screen. So, you don't have to necessarily go small just because you're living in a tiny house, but also it works as a privacy screen, and it works to trap cold air because the AC is behind it. It works out really, really well. I did a lot of work in putting things that are double, triple, quadruple duty into this house, because whenever you're in 250 square feet, you really have to maximize every inch of space. You really have to be smart about what you're designing and think everything through. And finding solutions that make storage available but don't seem intrusive can really make your space feel a lot bigger. With my house, I decided to design my closet into the gooseneck. So it doesn't feel like it's part of the space necessarily, it just kind of hides away and it just looks like a built-in. But it provides a lot of extra storage for not only me, but when I was designing it, in theory, a second person. The utilization of vertical space can really change the dynamics of your home. I'm a big cyclist, and so it was important for me to be able to fit my bikes into my house. They hang from the ceiling on just a pulley system. It's really easy to use, and it kind of keeps them up and out of the way. Just because you're living tiny doesn't mean everything necessarily has to be small. So one thing that I brought into my house was my projector. So I have the projector that goes down to the screen in the living room, hooked up with PlayStation, laptop, whatever, and then a 8-speaker surround sound system that's run throughout the house, hooks up to Bluetooth, so I listen to a lot of music, I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I can do that all in my tiny house. So in designing my kitchen, it would have been really easy for me to just go to a department store, to go to IKEA and get something off the shelf and just throw it in here. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something a little more interesting, a little more innovative, and so I actually found this stainless steel dishwashing station at an auction site. It came out of a commercial kitchen. It's actually got 4 sinks. And what I did with it was take the main sink, leave it, but then take the additional 3 sinks, put this butcher block on it, hinged it up, and now these work as great little storage bins. I have my draft lines come directly out of the fridge, so that way you have beer on tap, something that's kind of cool. And then a industrial vent hood. So coming into the bathroom, a lot of people think that just because they live in a tiny house, they can't have a normal sized bathroom. I'm here to show you, yes you can. So my shower is actually 42 by 36. It's a very large shower, fits very comfortably like a normal house. I have these lovely windows here. They're frosted so that you still get privacy in here, but during the day or during the morning you can have nice natural light coming in while you're showering. Using kind of that industrial sort of look, I actually it's a outdoor shower that I just ran the PEX plumbing through, and so it kind of gives a cool little design feature there. A little magnetic hanger for soaps and all of that. So this is actually my backsplash is all beer bottle caps. And then matching that sort of circle pattern, my flooring is actually all reclaimed firewood that I found on the side of the road. And I have this great storage rack that I don't use most of the space in. I'm actually only using one of those green boxes. Plenty of storage under the sink for, whatever. I use that a lot for my brewing fermenter kind of thing. A second additional sink. So there's generally a lot of controversy over why I have 2 sinks in such a small space. I like having 2 sinks because a lot of the times my kitchen sink will be full of dishes and I don't necessarily want to brush my teeth in that. It just seems cleaner for me. And since I had the extra space, I went ahead and put one in. Composting toilet. I have the Nature's Head composting toilet. It was expensive, but I've kind of become an advocate for the composting toilets in general. I feel like that a flush toilet is kind of an environmental disaster. Why would you be pooping into clean drinking water whenever you don't have to? Kind of as a statement with that, put in my bedpan planters. So these are vintage bedpans that I use to hold my cactus, and it starts a conversation with people and kind of opens their eyes to, you don't have to have a flush toilet. And of the people who have toured my house, I've had over 8,000 people through. I made sure my toilet was well used before all those people came through, and not a single one told me my bathroom stunk. So they don't stink, they're great. Get a composting toilet, regardless of if you have a tiny house or not. So that's my home. I'm actually currently working on downsizing, so the 250 square feet just proved to be too big for me. I don't know the exact plan yet, but I definitely want something smaller and more mobile. The thing I've really learned about going tiny, about living the tiny house life, about simplifying and being a minimalist is, it turns out it's not really about the home. I love my home, but the opportunities I've gotten because of it are so much more important to me than my house. The lifestyle is so much more important to me than the actual physical house. It's more of a mindset that you're breaking out of this norm, you're breaking out of the societal standards that people set, and you're doing something for you. It's something that's scary, it's something that's hard to do, but it's something that's very powerful and can be really fulfilling. I went into my home without any building experience. I wasn't a contractor, I wasn't a builder, I had some basic tool knowledge, but that was about it. I found resources that helped me build. I found an electrician that volunteered his time. I found an amazing architect that was able to do my structural stuff. I learned how to do my plumbing from a 15-minute YouTube video. No part of home building is that cognitively difficult. It's just a matter of doing it, and the sense of accomplishment that you get from building your own home with your own two hands is something that is undescribable. I feel like so many people these days just write the check because they think they can't do it. I'm here to tell you you can. There's no reason you can't. It's just a matter of doing it. So I hope you enjoyed my tour. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is richard@terraformth.com. I have a lot more information about this house and Terraform 2, my vacation home, on terraformth.com. Feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in this home, if you're interested in plans, if you're interested in taking a tour or doing a Skype call. I would like to help people as much as I can fulfill their tiny house dreams. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative, and I hope that you guys start your own tiny houses and you can share them with me when you're done.